Friends and Pioneers. Today I'm going to be doing a pork roast in the crock pot. Now this is a special video that I'm going to be doing. I have a neighbor who doesn't have children that live in the state, and she'll have nobody with her on Mother's Day. So I asked her if she had a crock pot, and she is up in years and she doesn't really remember what a crock pot is. So, although that sounds strange, her memory is kind of in and out most of the time. But I went and bought her a crock pot, and this is a brand new, just a classic crock pot, just with the manual turn knobs on it. And it's a 4-quart. It's small enough for her and her husband. And she's been accidentally leaving her stove on and burning things, so I thought a crock pot would be the best gift for her for Mother's Day. And when I bring it to her, I want to have it full of food, and so I decided to get one of the kits. And this has pork roast in it, carrots, onions, and red potatoes. And I'm going to go ahead and get this in. I'm going to show you how I season my pork roast in the crock pot. Okay, so the first thing we want to do, and I believe this is, it's a family size. I don't think it's going to tell me how big of a pork roast this is, but it looks to be about maybe 2 to 3 pounds. I'm not sure, but it looks about to be 2 or 3 pounds. Now it will cook down, and it's got a little fat in it, so put that over there. And then we're going to add all the other ingredients on top of it. It does come with a season pack, but I'm not going to use it. I like to season my own stuff. So I'm gonna put I'm gonna take a knife, and just to loosen up the protein, I'm gonna put slits in the knife all the way through, and so we can get the flavors. It'll break down quicker. It'll just be a better deal. And I'm gonna take some minced, a heaping teaspoon of garlic, put on top. I'm going to take some Lowry's season. Some Lowry's in there. And then I'm going to take some cumin. It's a really good spice for pork. And just put a little bit of that. Maybe a few shakes. She can't have a lot of real spicy food, and so I don't really want to spice it up that much, but I want to do some mild things just to really give it a rich flavor. We're going to add some parsley. And a little bit of ginger. A couple of shakes there. And I'm going to add a little bit of chicken broth. I have some that's kind of lumped up here. I'm just going to throw in a lump of chicken broth. This will give it a really good, gravy. I'm going to add a heaping teaspoon of cornstarch, because that's going to really thicken up the juices. You hear my rooster? It's one of my roosters outside. Get a good teaspoon. Got my windows open. It's like 63 degrees outside. Okay, I'm just going to sprinkle this over. And alright, now let's go ahead and add the vegetables to this. And I'm going to go ahead and wash these vegetables and get it all cleaned up, and then we'll go ahead and add them. Okay, so we have the vegetables that are all washed. I'm going to lay them in here. I'm going to cut up the celery a little bit. These are red potatoes. And this is a lot for 4 quarts, but I think it'll work. Pretty sure. It's going to cook down. And we're going to add carrots, baby carrots. All right. And then they give you this really large onion. And I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm just going to add half of it because she doesn't eat a lot of spice. But obviously for yourself, you would want to go ahead and add all the onion if that's what you like. Okay. I'm going to add all those onions in there. And now I'm going to add 2 cups of water. We're going to turn this thing on high, and I'm going to pour in 2 cups of water. And we're going to get this to going. I've got it on high, and I've got a liner in here so it'll be easy to transport. Not only that, it's easy to clean. And this one just lifts right out to clean. But I'm going to put this on high and put this on like that. And then I'm going to come back in about 6 to 8 hours and I'm going to taste it and make sure that the seasoning's really good. And then I'm going to add a few extra seasonings to this to really bring out this that flavor. So we'll be back once this all cooks down. Okay, our pork roast and potatoes and carrots have been cooking. Everything is fork tender, and I'm going to taste a little bit to make sure it's got enough seasoning, and if we need to, we'll go ahead and add some salt. Yes, definitely needs a little bit of salt. And I'm using the pink salt. The potatoes tend to soak up a lot of the seasoning and the salt, so I'm going to make sure that that meat, these are fork tender. Yep. And I've got to cook this down just a little bit more for the people who are eating this, just because the gentleman, the lady that I'm bringing this to, her husband's had a stroke and he has a hard time swallowing, and so when I cook for them, I cook stuff that's a little bit more cooked down than I normally would. Alright, this looks good. Now all I have to do is bake up these rolls, and we'll get on the road to delivering this meal for Mother's Day. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll find somebody to bless. And to all the mothers, a wonderful, blessed, happy Mother's Day.